Dr. Miller here with the first video of a series of videos on a topic that's a little bit different. If you've been following my channel, you know that I'm going to continue to talk about the field of exercise sports science, nutrition science, and so this may not be of interest to those of you that have been following the channel for that reason. Perhaps it will be. But as an educator, so I coach weightlifting. I've been a personal trainer in this field. I've been in strength conditioning. I'm currently a diet coach and a online training coach as well. I coach weightlifting, like I mentioned, in person. But my day job is that as a university professor. And that's what I wanted to do ever since I was a strength conditioning coach and realized that the college setting wasn't for me. And so, this is what I like to do. I've had later in my academic experience had my interest, my passion for the information in the field grow. But as an educator, regardless of the content, I wanted to make a series of videos about how to be a good student, and particularly a college student. But some of the things I've learned over the years from my own experiences, I was not a particularly good college student, undergraduate student. I was pretty awful, to be honest with you. I was able to do enough to graduate with a decent GPA and eventually went to get my master's degree, woefully behind because of my undergraduate education, which wasn't very good, and it's not necessarily the fault of the institution. And then finally got my PhD, where I kind of, put it all together. That first 2 years of my PhD, honestly, was a lot of remedial work for me. But I also sparked a passion. I would, go down to the library with one book and come back with 5, right? Reading every research article I could find. I just had an interest that I finally understood how to connect the dots, how to grow as a student into a professional. And that's part of this video series as well. I've had the opportunity and the honor to coach, but also teach a lot of great students that have done some great things. I've had the opportunity to work with them, and that's at the graduate, undergraduate level. I've taught mostly undergraduate, but I've taught graduate courses too, and pre-professional school courses. And even in a for-profit school for a time as a grad student, I did that to make a little extra money, but also because I wanted to I taught anatomy, like biology type of anatomy. That was a little bit over my head, but I learned quite a bit in preparation and teaching, and I like to feel like I did a decent job of teaching the class. So the point was, though, I've seen a lot of students. I've seen a lot of different types of students, first-generation students, students that have been to college many generations in, like I mentioned before, graduate students, doctoral students, master's students, students that are motivated, students that are not, students that have achieved much, and students that have achieved little. I think that's given me in 15 years of teaching now a lot of a fairly good perspective on what makes up a good, successful collegiate experience. And that, I think that's been changed over the last decade from what the university used to be to what the university, has kind of changed to a little bit more so. And in lieu of that change, I think we've seen a change in how students are prepared. And so when students come to the university and come to college, I want them to get the most out of their experience. And if you're not prepared to do that, you're not going to get the most out of your experience. So that's what this video series is for. It's for those that are looking to go to college, those that are in college, those that graduated from college, parents of those that are looking for students to go to college. There'll be topics on videos on a variety of topics related to this subject. I hope you glean even one or two things that might make the collegiate experience a more successful one. And that doesn't mean just necessarily grades, but also what college was all about in the first place. And sometimes I think we've lost that a little bit in the vocational focus. And I'm in a wing of academia that is we're in applied science. We are in our department, making professionals, essentially pre-professionals, right? We're educating and giving a formal education, to these students to go off and be professionals. So, I'm talking to myself as well, but even in the context of vocational training, like if you want to be an engineer or a nurse, understanding what college is really about, I think is valuable because it's going to make you a better engineer, a better nurse, or whatever it is you go on to do. So this is just an intro video to kind of tell you who I am, my experiences. I can tell you that I was woefully, like I said, underprepared for graduate school, and maybe part of this video series is trying to exhort students that are not getting prepared and are currently in school to look at how they could start to take advantage of the time they have remaining, or the maybe the whole 3 years that are left, or whatever it might be. So I'll leave this video here, and I'll be releasing the next few videos in this series shortly.